What a wonderful intro there from Pedro from Earth. It is the Hat Chat podcast, and I'm not going to introduce us. You should know us by now. Let's carry on.
You should.
Oh, now it feels weird, does it?
It feels weird. I don't know why. It doesn't feel weird. You made it weird because you mentioned it.
I did mention it.
You could have just immediately launched into some sort of specific topic. Or now you said that your name is a hidden entity.
I'm not going to say it.
But normally people do tune into a podcast from 108,
from
episode 188 onwards. Yeah.
I wonder what the Hat Chat podcast is about. Oh, it's not about haberdashery millinery. But
it's not anything to do with hats.
It is snowing here in our warehouse space. We've got giant coats on. I'm going to address the elephant in the room. You may hear sounds on the microphone that sound a bit like that. And you may be watching live, or you may be watching the VOD. And we are wearing giant coats because it's about 4 or 5 degrees in the UK, and there's no.
It feels like -2.
But it feels like -2, and we are in an industrial unit that isn't designed for habitation.
No. We're in this really sweet, awesome...
Yeah, we are. We're in an actual studio. Yeah.
We're in our recording studio.
You're watching this. Come on.
With warm panelled woods.
Yeah, snows. But there is an open top, which we really should...
It's an open top.
Yeah.
We should have thought that through when we were like... So where are we building? In the UK. Do we want a roof over the top? No.
I want How much is that? No thanks.
But yeah, right. It's expensive to add a roof to a thing.
That's our fault for using that Californian builder.
Yeah. Which one was that?
Is there a specific reference? In open top housing.
Open top house builders, of course. Today we're actually recording this on Valentine's Day.
I was going to say it's the 14th of February.
Do you feel the love?
It's a day of love. Oh, God, no. I detest things like this. Are you going to get me into it?
What? Yeah, okay.
It's just all it ever manifests as is just buying things.
Yeah. And what did you buy?
But you love buying things.
I do. I do love buying things. What I don't love is when people try to conflate human emotion, things that don't necessarily need a price tag, with the need for gifts and things. It's the same with Christmas. All right. It's just like, if you want to buy somebody something, buy them something. If you want to tell them you love them very much and you care about them, do that. All right. Why do you need companies to sell you specific products before you feel like you're doing something? I don't think you do. I'm not saying that people do. I'm not saying that we're all mindless, consumers. I'm not blaming people. I'm just saying maybe we should all think this. Maybe we should all be a little bit curmudgeon-y and a little bit like...
I think there's a lot of people who do just agree, it's just another day. Because obviously, at the end of the day, you're going to be rushing out, trying to compete with everyone else, trying to get a booking for somewhere or...
Not me. Not with me and my 3D printer. You know what I did?
Yeah, okay. Give us...
I printed out 100 little tiny hearts.
100?
And they all had a number on them.
Oh, yeah.
And I hid them around the house. I'm like, you're going to struggle to get all 100, and it's going to be really frustrating.
Collectible task.
Are you dating a 3-year-old? You did a numbered treasure. So what's in them?
Nothing.
Well, they're just 3D printed.
There's nothing in them.
You
littered numbered plastic around your home.
It's a collectible challenge, like
decorative.
An Assassin's Creed.
It's a hidden object game.
Yeah.
Basically, it's every time she comes across one, she will for the rest of her life in this house.
Because you've put hundreds of small
It's a reminder that I love her very
house.
much. Yeah. It's like,
oh, I see.
Okay.
Eat it.
You shouldn't eat them, though. Are they plastic?
They're plastic. You shouldn't eat them.
But you will. Do you tell her they're edible? And
they're edible. You
really
can
crunchy and
swallow quite them whole.
Crusty and hard.
Don't chew. I did
Does it
all
take long to print 100 of them?
Huh?
Does it take long to print 100 of those bad boys?
Very tiny.
God.
Very, very, very difficult to find.
Very just how tiny? Are we taking,
really like that.
Like if you were to say like a fingernail, less like if we're looking at like tiny, our little fingers.
Like your thumb, top of your thumb.
The top of your thumb?
Yeah, like your thumbnail.
That's not too small.
No.
That's big enough to find. Yeah. I could find loads of those. I reckon you'd hoover
not
all
where
those
I
up
hid
accidentally.
them. Under floorboards.
Yeah.
In the walls.
You've hidden them so well that the person who buys your house
afterwards
afterwards will be finding them.
Yeah.
For years they come going, I keep finding these numbered hearts.
It's a nice thought.
It is a nice gesture, I think. It's something unique. If anything, you're just covering your own house.
It's nice to do things around the house. Like I understand the concept of like putting surprises around the home for another person to find.
Nuggets of joy.
100.
That's a lot.
Plastic hearts.
And I struggled to find spots for all 100, so I just started grouping them together.
Is there a significance to the 100?
Surely there's no benefit in clustering them.
Available.
100 what?
Little hearts with numbers on them.
Okay.
What do you think is an
100 heartbeats
inappropriate
left.
gift?
That's how it is. It's similar. Yes. Is it? Yeah.
100 hearts. When you find them all, I'm gone. That's it. You've expired. All my love is gone. So you don't really think much of the day,
what about Saint Valentine, the martyr?
I don't know. I mean, to be fair to Trott, I do like leaving leaving notes and gestures and things like around the house is a nice way of doing things. But
what do your notes say? The washing up is in the
just
sink.
Just FYI, it's happened about 60 to 65 times now, but I've just stood on another one of those tiny fucking plastic things you left around the house.
It's like painful Lego.
Yeah.
Just a Lego walk.
This is a gentle reminder of love. Our eroding marriage.
Painful love. The pain.
Unlike our marriage, this plastic will last 1,000 years. I think, I don't know, like words work, don't they? Use your words. I'm not the right person to ask about these things, really, am I? I think we can probably all guess that.
But it is very much a made-up Hallmark holiday. But then I feel like they make those up for many things. But Valentine's Day
is always specifically a Christian thing.
Is it really?
I thought it might have been once again shoehorned into Christianity, and previously something like a pagan tradition.
Is it like Saint Valentine?
But it is literally Saint Valentine's, which is a Christian feast day honoring the martyr named Valentine.
Okay.
And through later folk traditions, become a significant cultural, religious, and commercial celebration of romance.
So they were a martyr, so they died for Christianity somehow?
I assume.
And what's the historical reasoning for that? Does it explain all? I guess you're on Wikipedia there.
For martyrdom?
Yeah, I'm on Wikipedia.
Jury's still out on the historical reasoning for martyrdom, Ross. Okay.
There's a variety of stories associated with St. Valentine, so there's not one correlation. For example, an account of the imprisonment of Saint Valentine of Rome for ministering to Christians persecuted under the Roman Empire in the 3rd century. He restored sight to a blind daughter of his jailer.
Okay.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, it's at Wikipedia, so I might have done. Numerous later additions to the legend better related to the theme of love. So it started off as restoring sight to someone's daughter and then became a love story somehow.
How many roses did he give the daughter?
No roses have become quite
prominent in the idea of Valentine's Day. I found a list here of gifts you shouldn't give apparently on Valentine's Day.
What's that?
If you were to give a gift, or
an enema.
An enema is about definitely. I mean, we can probably brainstorm
like bad gifts for Valentine's Day.
A book to the clinic. A prostate
an unexpected exam. Enema is one of them.
Random prostate exam. Here's I booked you a smear test. Like all these things.
Smear test.
Not cool.
Highly infectious virus.
Happy Valentine's Day. Check your get it checked. No, it just says here like stockings or underwear is apparently a no, which I would have thought wouldn't be too bad. It says only if you're sure about your partner's preferences. Yeah. So I'm guessing it's more of a kind of like early stage. You're not sure. Do I get them underwear? Because I suppose that would be a no-no if you weren't familiar. But if you're with them for 10 years and you're like, I want you to wear this.
You're going to be wearing.
But then maybe that is also I think it's more if you know them well enough. Maybe that is fine.
True.
But that's on this 10 worst gift ideas apparently. A bath gift set's apparently a bad one because it's boring. Anyone done that?
Yeah, I mean,
you're agreeing.
I mean, everyone's going to make those kind of mistakes.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm just talking about bath gift sets in general. Yeah. Sometimes they're good. Sometimes, you get some like bath salts or something, quality. Go nuts in the street, eat somebody's face.
My nan would get me.
Your nan would go nuts on baths.
Lynx, Lynx the body shower and spray. But when I was a kid, when I was younger,
great. Yeah,
for Valentine's Day.
Not for Valentine's Day. No,
saucy bitch.
Jesus.
But
do you would your mum ever say Happy Valentine's Day to you?
If I get bar stuff, I
would
get
you greet
off.
Strangers like Happy Valentine's Day? Like it's like some sort of like Christmas. Walking around.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Remember, Saint Valentine, he was persecuted by the Romans.
Remember that, and he restores sight.
Restores sight to a Roman daughter.
Open your eyes, you blinky bitch.
The history's lost.
Somehow it became about love,
hearts. Hygiene-related gifts is mentioned on here, saying, for example, shaving kits or antiperspirants.
What bad?
As it might be perceived as a hint that your partner does not meet certain standards.
It might have the wrong.
Well, if you do think your partner smells,
but I think it's different. I think there's a difference between if you got someone just like a bar of soap versus like maybe a nice like perfume or something.
I feel like
I think those are different vibes.
Do all these lists and things assume that you just don't talk to your other?
Yeah, I feel like these are early.
These are for the people
I imagine this is like,
yeah.
will you be my Valentine kind of vibe rather than like,
what should I get to impress?
We're year 12 into this. What do you fucking want? Do you know what I mean? Animals apparently, which I don't. It says the idea of gifting a pet might be romantic It carries a lot of responsibility.
Yeah, no fucking shit.
Not everyone is ready for such a gift. It can become a burden. I think that applies to Christmases and any other day.
This is common sense.
Unless you talk it through with someone and say, do you want a pet? Do you want or do you want me to surprise you with a responsibility that will be a several year long responsibility that you have now the burden of doing?
Unless it's
been spoken
Daddy
through.
Longlegs.
They
only last 3 days.
Wow.
A pet Daddy Longlegs can't be romantic though.
So you could dress it up. You could spray it red.
Spray paint it red. God, it would look monstrous. Imagine seeing a fucking Daddy Longlegs in like a jar, spray painted red. Obviously, it's put little red splatters all over the fucking thing. It looks
put on a lead.
You could put on a little
tiny little dental
like
floss lead.
Fishing wire.
Yeah.
Why? What's it? Wow. Have you tied that to? I mean, you would be. You'd remark
That's
if you
impressive.
saw somebody with an insect tied to a lead, wouldn't you?
You would. Yeah, you would.
That was flying.
It's like, how do you tie it to it without?
Especially if you had several of them, they're kind of like flying over your shoulders. And they're all like trying to get away, but they're all like tied to you.
I would love that. I would love to see somebody walking an insect on a lead.
What the fuck?
I mean, you would love to. You'd be like, what is going on?
It would be
here?
a novel experience. I mean, just I guess you could. Didn't they do it with flies where they can make them docile? Was it bees?
You can freeze flies.
Where they kind of like slow their heart rate to the point where you can then like
you can do it with all insects.
Put a small tether on it and then
that
try
works,
your
is
luck.
it?
Yeah,
I think you could.
I wouldn't do it with anything with a stinger. To be fair,
what about a tiny camera?
What onto the back of it?
Like how big a
FPV?
A fly,
the smallest camera
a fly-sized.
I mean, yeah,
GoPro.
the smallest camera we've got probably isn't small enough.
Probably the one that does colonoscopies, right?
Oh, please!
With the tiny little
I
wire.
can only get so erect.
Is there any bigger ones?
So, do you have a larger camera for my colonoscopy, please? Really big, something unsuitable for this sort of thing.
You got any red cameras?
You got any studio cameras in there? Just wrap it
How
How long's the lens?
I'm trying to put a camera on a fly.
No, I just want the maximum girth possible for my colonoscopy.
Just bring in
stick in an array.
Instead of just a load of balloons, they're just loads of living flies and other insects you manage to catch around your house. Just flying and desperately trying to get away while you've got them tethered to you.
They say insects are the future of food, so
yeah.
Remember
we're already.
Do you think most of them will probably end up hanging themselves in some weird way because of the way you've tethered them there?
The flies, yeah, like Trott said, they'd slice themselves in half.
I think that's
half
it. They desperately
tightening the little knot and there goes another body.
Well, you could probably fashion a little harness.
Yeah. Now we're getting into harness making. And you've got to think about weight.
Get the 3D printer out and really think about this.
That'd be like an armored shield for an insect.
Yeah.
That'd be quite heavy to maintain.
You'd need to make a team of insects, wouldn't you? Like a team of horses pulling a carriage.
We need watchmakers to come in and start equipping flies with.
Not to mention they're going to struggle to fly when I spray them with contact spray and glitter, like red glitter. As
they're completely blinded by
for Valentine's Day.
Glitter.
Why aren't they flying, mummy?
Trying to make them look pretty.
The harnesses didn't work, so just don't open the jar. But they're all covered in glitter. Look at this. If you shake it, so most of them are dead. They're dying. Yeah, they're suffocating. And
you should go and apply for a job at Neuralink. I think it's about the same level of animal science going on.
Yeah, well, they're messing with monkeys though. I mean, again, don't gift anyone a monkey.
You wouldn't cover a monkey in glitter, would you?
What is Neuralink?
I don't know what they did. All sorts with the
Neuralink news.
Well, look at the PG Tips adverts, the old school ones. They made them look like idiots. That's why they don't do it anymore. They use CGI.
And the monkey would just drink so much tea.
And that, a monkey was health reasons, of course. Books are apparently a bad one.
Books? Why?
It says it's boring.
That's not boring.
It says it's boring and impersonal.
That is quite. You can
but you can write a message in the front of the book.
You certainly could.
Oh, that's great.
You could get it signed by the author. You could do all sorts. Yeah. Again, we should be fine.
Edition you've written.
Don't bring up a Harry Potter first edition. Trott, my sister lost one in primary school, and I'll never forgive her for it.
You said hardback.
Not a hardback.
Then it's still not the same worth shit. Then.
Well, how much is the first edition softback Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone?
First edition. Paperback, they call them.
Sorry, yeah.
Softback.
Hardback.
Harry Potter. Which one?
The first one.
And is that Philosopher's Stone or is that Sorcerer's Stone?
It was the UK edition.
Yeah, they came first.
Let's have a look. 12,500 pre-owned.
Well, there we go.
750. That's a different one.
More realistic.
I think this is this hardback?
I've got Neuralink news for after this.
Okay. I think that's 12,500 for.
Let's call it 12 grand, and I'll never see that money ever
again.
again.
Books. Here we go. £42,500.
I had that book as well.
Oh no, it does say soft cover.
I have that one, and
85K.
on the back it's got a different person.
Yeah, I had that
was
cover.
Even rarer.
I also had the old one, which had a black and white photo of the car.
Yeah, it wasn't that guy. It was like a guy in a brown outfit of sorts. Maybe it'd been Dumbledore. Maybe.
I remember that one specifically.
I had that one.
God, 85,000 though. Gosh, you just binned it. Have you heard about that guy who's desperately trying to
get the Bitcoin out of
He's trying to get his Bitcoin out. He's given up. Well, no, he hasn't given up. He's offering to buy the site with other fundraisers. But obviously, like, buying the site, he then has to excavate it, which is the reason they're going to shut the site off and seal it over. And obviously, because you shouldn't be just exposing all of this waste, he's going to want to go in there, dig it all up.
What's the story here?
Right, so the story is
85
he's got
million, is it,
fucking it's like almost 700 million is the worth of Bitcoin. He left his hard drive that had it all on in a bag, which his girlfriend then threw the bag out without realizing what was in it. He then tracked it down to where it went. He's now also supposedly tracked down where it might have been in the actual trash site.
Oh my God.
Itself. But obviously, this is like a huge area which is compacted. Bear in mind, this was also like 12 years ago, 11 years ago. So it was when it was dirt cheap to buy Bitcoin. He had shitloads, enough that it's worth almost $1 billion now. And so he's thinking that somehow that hard drive hasn't eroded through weathering, hasn't like kind of been crushed by other things.
700 million.
But this is it. And he went to the council and everything and was just like,
to get permission.
Is there a way to access this? If it is there, can I share the proceeds with you just to get it out? Like, and obviously they're just like, well, no, it's pretty much probably a lost cause. And I think they're probably right.
They probably are right. Yeah.
Because I think if you do leave a hard drive exposed into the elements,
not to mention like the weight of other waste on top of it over 12 years is
you bury it out. It's not going to be like, oh, quick, let me plug it in,
blow it off.
Oh fuck! It's damp and slightly crushed, and obviously there are ways you could probably get the disc out, maybe dry it, and but if it's damaged in any way, the actual disc, it's fucked. So I don't know.
I find it remarkable that essentially ones and zeros amount to that amount of money in a landfill. You know,
well,
just
yeah,
like
but it's just
the value of a thing. It's like those specific order of zeros and ones. On that specific hard drive is worth 700 million.
That's the craziness of digital currency, and also just
I guess most other Bitcoiners actually wouldn't want him to succeed, because taking that much Bitcoin value out of the system would increase the value of other Bitcoin. So if you put 700 million into the market, that would make it more available. It is in there.
It exists,
but it's untradeable though, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just sat there.
Yeah, so it's not really in there.
It's not in the not in the tradable, but it's like it's obviously exists on a ledger somewhere
that can never be retrieved without this wallet.
Unless someone can somehow find a way to hack into his previous accounts.
But then all Bitcoin breaks if they do that, right?
What if they hack into his account?
If it's hackable,
loads of like his personal accounts and stuff hackable, but it sounds like he took it off.
It's an offline key. Yeah,
it's an offline wallet. Yeah, which some are. If you have,
does that mean that's just lost money?
Yeah, kind of.
They can't recover it, and they can't mine more, right? There is a finite amount.
Yeah, there's a finite amount supposedly.
Can they just be like, "Oh, we'll get that much back"?
Yeah, I think it's just it's going to be sat there, and it's just no one's going to be gaining from it other than like it's going to help the value go up because it's been hoarded
just
in a hole
more
somewhere. But bear in mind, he probably spent like what, a couple of grand on it, not even that.
Really?
Probably not. Yeah.
Well, he's probably spent hundreds of thousands now trying to get it back.
How much is...
the court cases and stuff you had to go through.
How many Bitcoins are on that hard drive?
Let's find out.
What is about 80 grand of Bitcoin, 80,000 pounds of Bitcoin at the moment?
So quite a lot of Bitcoin.
Quite a lot, yeah.
Good Lord. And what are people buying with it?
Let's find
drugs.
This.
Yeah,
all right.
It's pretty good for buying drugs on the internet, I found.
You found?
I found legal drugs. I only buy things like ashwagandha and tablets that are full of a spice called
from Dune.
What's it? The really yellow one. Tea.
What are you looking for?
Tea.
Mustard.
Not mustard. Sometimes they make lattes out of it.
Turmeric.
Yeah.
You get turmeric with Bitcoin.
No. But that could be something you could buy with Bitcoin.
I don't understand.
Well, it says 600.
Get turmeric from.
It's like alternative medicine stuff. I'm just making it up, Trott. But no, you can buy like things on the internet, all sorts of things on the internet with Bitcoin. Like you really can, and it's
mostly prescription drugs and illegal drugs.
And some shops, if you Googled what legitimate shops accept Bitcoin, I'm sure there are plenty of legitimate shops that accept Bitcoin.
He's Googling it. Yeah, so £600 million worth of Bitcoin is what's in this dump in South Wales, which maybe we should try and just go in there. I imagine, but there must be loads of fuckers now who are aware of this and might be like, it says that apparently it's 90% full, this landfill site, and that they'll be due to close relatively soon, and he thinks he can buy it. But I can't imagine the council would sell it to someone who's going to start digging it all up. Do they normally sell like landfill sites? Yeah.
You want this landfill?
Do you want to just buy the landfill?
I don't really know what happens to landfill ground once they're done with it. I think you can use it eventually. Yeah, it's just like certain uses. But like it might be like industrial use, make a new industrial park over the top of it, concrete a lot of it, stick a dirty industry on top of it. So I don't think you can. The land will be fucked.
Okay, so the hard drive contained the private key.
Yeah.
Which you might hear that little beeping the sound. That's the boring alarm. But the private key is for 8,000 Bitcoin.
That's great.
And so normally the private key is some fucking 28-word like random generated key.
Blob fluffy cow.
And he had that saved on a hard drive. Obviously never wrote it down anywhere because that's all you would need to access his entire private wallet.
Wait, you can just type that in somewhere and retrieve it. But because it's on a hard drive,
this is where AI should come in. But I imagine obviously there's an X amount of times you can try
guessing?
it before. Yeah,
brute forcing.
I can imagine there's an X amount of times you can try that before it fucks you over. But
also
maybe
like a 16-word phrase.
I think it's 26.
26-word phrase.
26, 28.
That's a lot.
You might as well mine the Bitcoin again.
No, you may as well train an AI large language model and compete with OpenAI with that amount of computing.
Well, there we go.
More money
8,000 Bitcoin is insane, though. Holy shit! Yeah, 695 million.
Major stores Bitcoin is accepted in.
Go on.
According to Google,
the whole of Venezuela,
Microsoft, Starbucks, Whole Foods Market, AT&T, Home Depot, Newegg, Beyond, PayPal, Burger King, Etsy, Shopify, Subway, KFC, Twitch accepts Bitcoin.
Is this all in America?
I think it's a lot of American stuff. Wikipedia.
How do you transact it?
I don't even know how I would buy
Amazon,
Bitcoin the way it goes up.
So Tesla. My thinking is why those companies accept it is because they're big enough to absorb the hedge of allowing Bitcoin to be bought, right? So they see it and go, we believe that people will continue to use this, and we somewhat believe in its value and it'll continue to be valuable, and we have enough financial reserves to cover it if it suddenly becomes worthless. But anything smaller than that, they're never going to take the risk to accept something like Bitcoin because it could ruin you. I mean, all our water and electricity bills are all still paid in pounds, not Bitcoin, So like those are the...
This fucker mined 400 to 800 Bitcoin intermittently overnight for 2 months on his own Dell XPS laptop.
Mining it. Sorry, one a night?
In 2009. Intermittently overnight for 2 months. So that's how much he got in 2 months, like between 400 and 800.
God, it's crazy, isn't it?
What's crazy is ever taking that hard drive out of your site.
Well, he wouldn't have known, right? He wouldn't have known it was worth anything.
He put it in a bag. Well, no, he must have. If he was mining it in the slide, to even like sit down and mine it. Obviously, it wasn't worth much then. I mean, 2009,
I made 300 quid in Dogecoin.
2009 wasn't even worth $1.
Year. When I mined, because when Bitcoin was originally happening, I was interested in the mining element of it. Then I read about it, and I was already too late, and everyone was like, Bitcoin takes ages to mine. You have to do this. It takes a lot of power. If you're interested in how mining works, we're doing it here with Dogecoin. And I tell you who told me about this. Bebop Vox. Remember Bebop Vox?
Yeah. I remember Bebop Vox.
Him and a couple of his friends, he's like, oh, yeah, I saw you're interested in the Bitcoin thing. Like, me and my friends are just messing around mining this Shiba Inu coin, the Dogecoin. Oh, yeah. He's like, you can just like run this thing to see if you want to see how mining works. And so I ran it for like 4 hours, right? 5 hours one evening. And I was like, yeah, let's create some of these. I've got this and this thing now. Cool. And that was it.
Yeah.
And then like, a couple of years ago when Elon Musk started talking about Dogecoin and it kind of popped a little bit, I was like, fuck, I mined some of this at one point. And I was like, how much did I mine? And I looked in and I had, like I say, I had about, at the time when it got to like $2 or whatever, I had about 300 quid's worth. And so I sold it all, obviously.
You're essentially a guy in a river sifting through tiny nuggets of gold.
Yeah. I just wish I'd done it with Bitcoin and not Dogecoin. But at the time I was just like, mining at the time, what year was so that? Energy intensive.
2016?
That was ages ago.
2017?
Yeah, as in, sorry, it wasn't long enough ago.
Like this guy lost his drive in 2013.
Yeah, I was probably...
So even then, he had loads then, and he was just like, shit, like, lost it. And probably thought, oh, fuck. I mean, at the time it was still 500,000. So, like, to even let that thing out of your site is kind of crazy.
Pretty wild.
But I reckon they probably broke up.
Yeah, I reckon. Yeah. But that guy's going to be, hopefully...
So just a tangent there. Can't imagine he would stay with her if she's thrown away £500,000.
He may end up as like a Zen master of acceptance, though.
I don't think so. The way he's sued the fucking government, not the government, the council he tried to get 450 million from them. The Welsh, Newport, South Wales.
We don't have that, but
they were trying for what? For him losing a drive with, like you say, series of ones on, like
through not allowing him to get in. He's probably trying to just get.
But they said the moment it's like goes into landfill, like it is.
Yeah,
it's council's property. It's literally trash.
We've all had that feeling at a landfill when the landfill operator just takes your thing and sort of sizes it up and decides to keep it, and you're like,
hold on.
Or like you put it in the bin and they go
cooker top,
and they excitedly see the thing you've just gone in the bin and gone, this is gonna, oh my god, he's such an idiot for throwing that away. Pulls it out and I'm like, what have I fucking done? What have I done?
God damn it.
Yeah, if you ever see a hard drive, fucking look at it.
Yeah.
Or don't. I don't know. Maybe that's worse.
Maybe they're throwing it away because it's got such a bad worm on it that if you connect it to any computer,
God,
it'll just fuck you up.
Yeah, that's it. And it's buried under 25,000 cubic meters of waste and earth, weighing approximately 110,000 to 200,000 tons. It would be almost impossible to find. Anyway, is
that almost though, isn't there?
But it's just like the thing is like
almost.
But they've done this before where like it is the case of it's like the guys that bought like a pizza from a place for like 3 Bitcoin back when it was like worth like $10.
Yeah.
And it's like now he's like, oh, I could have held on to it. You could do that with anything.
Yeah.
That gains value. All of the trash that you ever accumulate in your life that may have a slight worth.
It's hoarding mentality, yeah.
You could do that, but it's just like with a currency, like what the fuck do you do? You do have to find. I mean, it is an eye-watering amount. 8,000 Bitcoins. So when Bitcoin is worth $100,000.
I just wish
8,000 of them just on a drive.
I wish I hoarded
discarded.
I wish I hoarded virtual currency like I hoarded boxes for things I buy.
Yeah.
Just in case you need to return it. Boxes.
Yeah.
Might have to return it, yeah.
Empty motherboard box, is it? Yeah. Okay, is this worth $100,000 yet? No, it's not.
Still cardboard.
Yeah. It's pretty dire, and that's. I mean, you would obsess over it because I guess his life isn't. He's not doing so.
He's not. It doesn't sound like a millionaire, does he?
Yeah. In the words of Bradley Walsh, that is a life-changing amount of money, isn't it?
It is. It's normally he's normally talking about like $8,000 or something on the chase.
He's not even talking about $100,000. For $100,000,
£8,000, that's going to change your life. It's like yeah, definitely. We'll be able to get that Ford car we wanted.
Yeah,
like, nice, brilliant.
Do you know what else would be like
this guy who could have had a small country.
Do you reckon having telepathy would be life-changing?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, that's what they've achieved at Neuralink.
No way.
What form of telepathy?
3 people have telepathy, according to Neuralink.
Fuck off.
Nolan, Alex, and Brad.
Don't give us their names.
All 3 individuals are unable to move their arms and legs because they have spinal cord injuries, and Brad due to ALS. They each volunteered to participate in the Neuralink's Prime study. Full caps. Clinical trial to demonstrate that the link is safe and useful. And they have cosmetically invisible wireless brain-computer interfaces. This is from Neuralink's website, by the way.
Of course it is, yeah.
Pinch of salt. It enables users to operate their phones and computers with just their thoughts, a capability we call telepathy.
I'm sorry, who owns that company?
Oh, Elon Musk.
Right, okay. So we should believe everything it says.
Definitely.
Right, go on.
Black and white here.
A capability they call telepathy, but is in fact electronic. I mean, amazing, don't get me wrong, but it's basically Wi-Fi or Bluetooth, I'm guessing, that actually controls it. Because
it would be some sort of interface that does that, yes.
Yeah. So
that converts thought, brain signals into Wi-Fi, which the thing...
sends an instruction.
And have they taken them to a casino yet?
For what?
Count cards.
I don't think it helps them count cards.
Oh, okay.
What do you think they're doing?
I don't know.
They're trying to help people like interact
I think they should be trying to help them
make
count
them
cards
cheat at gambling.
and read their mind, going, well, I'm going to guess what you've got and we'll put all our money on it.
That seems silly. But, I mean, brave people to volunteer for this stuff, I think, is worth saying.
I mean, especially with the amount of monkeys that have been killed during...
Slice to fucking
How many monkeys have been killed now? What's our death count?
What's the Neuralink death count? Neuralink monkey count. Is that the one? Does that come up with one? At least 23. That's all right. Wait, no, hang on. That's just experiments by Neuralink involved 23 monkeys. That's not a crazy amount of monkeys. I thought it was like in the hundreds. 15 died. Or were euthanized.
15 of 23 died. That's pretty bad odds, isn't it?
Yeah, I wouldn't sign up for it from that, no.
I just feel so... yeah.
But then I guess they have to test to...
You do, exactly.
Yeah, but...
if I want to see medical
advances... Can they not do
those
on rats? I thought they used to do it on rats and mice. I guess it's different kind of...
Different physiology.
Pigs.
Different
physiology, have similar brains.
Pigs and monkeys are really good for human analogs, yeah. For obvious reasons. Organ size, cognition, stuff like that. But it's still sad and grim. But I do really want medical advances. And I really would prefer that guy spend all his money on this stuff than subverting democracies around the world.
You got to wonder. 20
to 30 more implants. Torturing monkeys, man. Huh?
Well, they're doing 20 to 30 more implants this year, supposedly.
Okay.
In humans.
On people.
I have seen the people ones work. I've seen some of the interviews.
Yeah,
apart from that guy who they recently showed off, apparently the little wires that go into the brain. So imagine a thing that sits on the brain and then it has tiny little filament wires going into the brain itself. Those started to unbind in their meat area. So he was losing connections or was getting bad results. And then they looked into it and they're like, yeah, so the things that they'd put into the brain have now sort of just come loose. Oh. And it's fuck. And so you now need some of the most invasive surgery ever to then get back in there and unfuck that. So I mean, like I say, the people that sign up for it are very brave because it's fucking gnarly.
I like to say that they're targeting people with conditions.
Yeah, of course.
They're paralyzed or whatever, and they want to return some sort of normality to them, which makes sense. Be able to interface with a computer with your mind. If you don't have the ability to interface like a person would regularly do, makes sense.
This article I found is from 2022, and it says they killed 1,500 animals. 280 sheep, pigs, and monkeys following experiments since 2018.
Oh my God.
So they have gone through some animals there.
They probably have to euthanize them following experiments.
Well, yeah, I imagine so.
When it comes to sheep.
You might accidentally lobotomize the fucker.
Yeah. It's when it comes to... bear in mind, it sounds... Not to defend them, but on balance. If you think about if those 220 sheep instead turned up in an abattoir and they all died, you'd be like, yeah, that's sheep getting abattoired. In this, they're turning up to a scientific lab, which I'm guessing is hopefully regulated to similar standards to other labs in the country or in the world. And they go, well, obviously at the end of this, we're essentially buying these as meat, but we're doing some experiments on them before. Obviously, they're not going to say that, but essentially they are.
The scientists,
they're buying them just the same,
lamb, aren't they?
Yeah.
You wonder what the
There's a bit of wire in this lamb.
Yeah, I think this article's mainly talking about the ethical elements behind it. Obviously, these animals are dying in ways that you wouldn't normally kill them for meat.
Yeah, it could be painful. Yeah,
very. Yeah,
it's all painful though. It's all horrendous. I don't know. I understand not wanting to make things suffer, and it's just all awful. But really, if you really think about it hard enough, it's hard to square killing animals at all. Huh?
You're saying no insects with leashes then?
Yeah,
no, the leashed insects are funny.
That's funny and
cool. And also the insects, they can't speak to me or look me in the eyes and go, why are you putting a wire on my brain again?
They've got 3 days to think about it before
they have,
dead anyway.
They're like, this is great.
Wow, my whole life is glitter.
Life is glitter and leashings.
And the glue's burning.
I think if they could talk, I think we would be thinking differently, wouldn't we? Like in Wicked.
Would. Yeah.
We've all seen Bugs Life.
But then...
what happens to them?
Bugs talking it.
Oh, well, yeah, okay. Yeah. No, that's fine. There's loads of films you could probably reference where animals talk.
But if you really then think about it, all of this moral concern and worry and all these feelings we feel about things, we think that we torture ourselves about these things, or we think hard about these things, and we try to make the morally, ethically right decision. But really, we're just the animal at the top of the chain. What if the bigger animal comes along and they're like, now you're going to get the stuff done to you that you've been doing to all the other animals?
You seem
because
quite
you're
disposable.
you're just an animal, and there's loads of you guys.
And
a lot of you are destructive.
Yeah.
I think that. And then you're like, well, why the fuck am I even thinking about this at all? Because I'm just happen to be the guy. I just happen to be the...
Well, because we're on the brink of an interaction with aliens. That's why you're thinking about it.
Yeah, but I'm still doing it, aren't I?
What do you mean?
Well, also, we're going to get probed, aren't we?
Yeah, for sure.
We're going to get
probed
out of us. Yeah. But I just want to like have the strongest case possible for when that happens.
I've really thought about this.
All right, wait, hold on, guys. Let's just sit down.
Well,
right?
have you seen a butcher shop? I think it'll be that, but humans.
We'll be on meat hooks.
Yeah.
But we're just not bred for food, though, I don't think. I don't think we're bred for eating.
Bred for experiments, though.
We could be free range.
Yeah, but like none of us are in great shape. Like, look at the like how
well, that's why they would farm us properly.
Do you think we need proper farming?
Yeah, I think they'd farm us properly.
What would that look like? A gym and a protein-rich Greggs every day? Is that what it looks like?
Yeah, it doesn't. I don't think Greggs.
It's probably more the batteries and Matrix scenario where we just get turned into energy.
Energy sources,
Yeah, big tube down and our throat.
Mush.
What if they harvest our conscience and use it as a node for like a big computer?
We're just language.
That's what Neuralink's
training.
We're all just.
That's what Neuralink's.
Yeah, that get added to a greater mass.
I mean, we deserve it, don't we?
Yeah,
we deserve it at this point.
I mean, beyond reasoning, human beings are so similar to all other animals, right? And like, well, I mean, they can reason too, but you know what I mean? Like, beyond us being able to contemplate our own existence, talk about it, communicate it with each other, like, oh my god, yeah, we're like, what is it? Why is it? Why are we doing that? Why is it different? You know, so, you know, if we look at the thing we do differently to everything else, if that's the intrinsic value to somebody else, what would it be? Would it be music? Would it be songs, stories?
Yeah,
would it be, what's the value? What's our juice? What do you think human juice is? The ability
for the universe to experience itself.
Yeah, that's cool. If that's the actual reality
of
everything.
Sounds cool, doesn't it?
Yeah. Like the idea that because we're made of the same stuff as the universe and we're able to think about ourselves, it's the universe contemplating ourselves, right? Yeah.
And not all animals have that capability that we're aware of, at least, based on our intelligence.
Though apparently crabs feel pain. Like, you know, you can't torture crustaceans anymore. FYI for doing that. If any of you have been doing that.
Oh, great.
Stop.
There are videos on there like fishermen just chopping all their legs off and they're all squirming around. It's pretty gross.
Really?
And they're just chucking them into vats or whatever it is.
Yeah. The only fishing videos I ever see are the ones where they find the rare blue lobster. Which can't be
and
that
then they
rare.
save him. They're like, you're free. The rest of you are fucking dead.
Yeah.
So, okay.
No, you're like, I can't wait
all
to
the
see
pregnant
this
ones,
turn up on an Instagram reel again. And it's like, it's the rare blue lobster. It's like, you guys are all in the same fucking port. They're like just swapping around. Like,
pass it round.
Looks like Tim's fishing boat got the blue eater this week.
See them all painting each other underneath the sea.
Yeah.
Blue's the answer.
Yeah, they're hybridizing.
I don't know what colour we are.
There's no money in fishing anymore, so you have to get Instagram views for it instead.
Do you know how many Earths fit in the sun?
How many Earths fit in the sun? Ooh, let's say 300.
Way more than that. Like 500,000.
1.3 million. So when we talk about these existential things, the scale of us is nothingness.
Yeah, we are so small.
A dot in nothing. We are not even a pixel. We are just so small.
So why does my brain think it's such a big deal?
Because we've been given this ego.
It's annoying.
Science is relative.
It's so annoying.
And we are just a meaningless entity, a virus on this planet.
How big did you think the sun was, out of interest?
300.
About 300 times the size of the Earth.
It's a bit bigger than that.
I mean, like
1.5 million, which is so much easier to when you show someone the visible, it's like a globe filled with like tiny little balls.
Yeah,
that's the kind of demonstration. It's quite interesting.
I need more planetary toys as a child.
I
Definitely.
think everyone needs. I think scale is a huge issue for visualizing.
We can't fathom it.
Because I think in general, like just, you know, the scale of the Earth, scale of these issues, scale of like, you know, environmental issues, people, you know, filling their lakes with fucking chemicals, all this other stuff. You can't visualize how much is being done. And you're there just going, well, I'll put this little bit of cardboard away. And it's like, and it's fuck all on the scheme of things. And like, it's only when you see these kind of, like, there's quite interesting documentaries about how much waste people have and how much, there you go, there's an image on our chat video there.
And just before we go on to waste, I do want to talk more about planets. One of my favorite images ever, I think, and scary as fuck. There's an image of an astronaut took a photo from the moon looking back at Earth, where Earth's really small. I think it's got a name. Is it called like the blue pearl or something like that?
I thought the pale blue dot was from the Hubble.
Oh, was it from Hubble? Right. But yeah, basically, it just shows you, even on the moon, how far the moon is from the Earth and how small it makes the Earth look. You're like, wow, that is a long way. And that's just the moon, which is comparatively close. And it does. And I often think like we're so small and tiny and insignificant. Like people, like if there is intelligent life in the universe, it might just miss us by a minor calculation. You know, it's just like, oh shit, that's there that whole time. It's like finding an island in the ocean, right? A little one. You're like,
It's like finding a Bitcoin hard drive in a land.
Yeah, it's a great metaphor. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, because that, when you do look at the scale of those things, you realize that, the idea of something traveling to our tiny little pithy planet that's probably, if from far away, looks way too dangerously close to that giant sun that you would even go near it, right? So yeah, that kind of seems a bit silly, but it's
pretty
interesting.
Lucky, isn't it? Pretty lucky though. Yeah. Pretty lucky that we're here. And
if anything, like, do you think it's a bad thing that we even know about other planets in such a way?
It's bad because
in a sense, like, it's like to think about that in such a scale, like, is it even worth it?
What's your
in the same way that like thinking about politics, is it even worth thinking about it because you have no real hand in it? When you turn the TV off, turn the radio off, nothing really changes in your life in a drastic way. Well, unless you're American and you love eggs. In which case, the fuck?
Things do affect you.
Things do affect you, but I just mean in terms of like, there's a lot of fear and there's a lot of like outrageous headlines, all this sort of stuff that we pay attention to, that like some people mull over a lot. I do as well. And like when you turn that stuff off and you realize that like ignorance is fucking bliss sometimes, where it's like, this stuff, I can't do anything about this stuff. You can only do the stuff that's involving in your life.
Well, I'm hoping to run for...
Well, then in that case, you should be paying attention to some of these things, because you want to get in there early and start your propaganda now.
Yeah.
I mean, not to boil everything down to a useless analogy, which sounds nice, but it's the whole thing about like, give me the wisdom to accept the things I cannot change and give me the strength to change the things I can. Like that's basically what you're talking about. It depends, doesn't it? I think that things like democracy and like voting and politics is like slightly different to our position in the universe, because we have a more granular levers to pull when it comes to affecting democracies, which you can pull. You can vote. You can talk to people about things you don't think are right or worries you have about the way things are going. I think that's important. It creates zeitgeist. It creates like mindsets.
Voting allows you to combine your insignificance with others and have a form of significance, unless they're all vote manipulated.
At least that's the hope. I think that's the thing. I think that I've become a little bit disenfranchised with the idea
of blue dot.
Especially in the digital age, you don't know what's fucking real anymore.
No, you don't. I mean, and that's a whole other conversation, but that is true. It's that there's so much AI weirdery in terms of images a lot now as well. You're just like...
everyone's questioning everything.
Yeah.
And so then you don't believe anything, and then the most outrageous thing seems
to squeak through,
to get through. What the fuck is this? Like,
it's weird, isn't it?
So yeah, but then like when you talk about voting and stuff, you then become a bit disenfranchised because like, well, there's 60 fucking million people in this country or whatever. I'm sure they'll vote for the right thing. Or this person is a president for a reason, so surely we've got to trust everything they say, right? Because why would they?
Yeah.
Back when I was a kid, I just assumed anyone in power was in power for a good reason.
Yeah,
they're like the best of the best.
But that's a child. That's you as a child.
That's obviously me as a child, not looking into it. But I feel like there's a lot of people who never really do look into it. I've got friends who don't pay attention to politics or news, and they don't know any about this stuff. And then I realized they're actually kind of probably happier.
What are they like? Like what? Yeah, I mean,
so talking to them about this stuff, they're like, "Oh, I didn't even really pay attention to that stuff." I was like, "Oh, that sounds crazy." And I was like, "Yeah, it is kind of crazy." And it will drive you crazy reading about it and talking about it all the time.
Absolutely. There's moderation and control and understanding where those conversations are the right time, the right space. 100%. You shouldn't let things like politics get in the way of friendships or family.
And sometimes you need a good escape, right?
Yeah.
4 times a year.
Oh, yeah.
You do need a good escape 4 times
I mean, it is great for that, actually. We can talk about that.
What is Alex Smith?
LARPing.
Live action role playing.
So I discovered LARPing. Actually, how much time have we got? We've got a bit of time. Very, very quickly. This is my reason for you to try going LARPing and specifically come to our LARP, Men Is Fate, which is only 50 days away.
What does Men Is Fate mean?
Oh, fuck. What? Many of us are stone.
Men is a weird stone.
Men Is Fate.
It's just a Welsh word.
Yeah, men.
It's
Breton, actually. It's from Brittany and Northwest. Anyway, different question. But anyway, the reason to come to LARP, I was worried about years ago when I first started LARPing, was about 9 or 10 years ago. I was in quite an anxious period. I felt, I used to get panic attacks when I was younger, and I was worried about those kind of things happening in these strange and unusual circumstances. I was feeling a bit depressed because of the news. I think literally this was, about the time things started to get really bad, the beginning of 14 years of the Tories we've just been through. And I was just like, that was affecting me. I was just feeling a bit like, oh man, things are not doing great.
He was thinking too much about politics.
Thinking too much about politics, exactly.
And having nothing to do about it.
And went to this LARP thing, went to Empire, and like the first evening, I was like, cool. I mean, it's camping. I like camping, and I like, costumes and medieval stuff and RPGs. And I was like, this is interesting. But there are loads of people there. It's a people game. There are thousands of people there, and it's quite overwhelming. You're meeting different kinds of people, different outlooks, all lovely people, but like, we're all different. And I was quite nervous. Friday night came in, and I was like, yeah, no, maybe this is for me, maybe it isn't. And the next day I woke up, and it was like the morning. I got out of my tent, and it was really cool, and everyone was like getting busy, starting the day at like this real living camp, this amazing thing where everyone's just wandering around in their costumes, like, just getting ready for the morning. It's just quite pleasant, everyone's just getting up. It's a nice day. You're all looking forward to a fun day of playing this game. And about 12 o'clock rolls by, about midday. We're in the character by this point. And I just noticed, I sort of checked back in with myself, and I realized all of my like negative thoughts and anxieties and feelings, I just hadn't even thought about them for ages, the whole day. And I noticed that like being in character and being in a world where people can only speak about the game, can only speak about their character, can only speak about the things that are like relevant to what's happening, it takes out this whole like constant worry and constant confusion, conversations you have with people about like, how's it going? Like, how's the job? How's the bills? How's this? How's this person? Like there's so much of like everyday life that forms like a tapestry that informs how you feel. And by going to something like LARPing, this is like role playing, being immersed in a character and being immersed in a world. It provides an escape that is even more powerful than a similar escape, which I would call gaming, computer gaming. Like when you play a game that you really love, or when you play a character-driven game, or even when you play D&D sometimes, you get to escape into that world and those thoughts and those thought processes. And that's really healthy in some regards. And LARPing is a perfect way to do that, and a very powerful experiential way to do that. And we have Menhir's Fate LARP, which is a high fantasy role-playing game that the three of us and three other partners who are professionals in the LARPing industry, we've worked with them, and then a massive team of volunteers who've been working very, very hard with us. We thank them very much to help develop and write this game. It's going to be live April the 4th. You go to menhirsfate.com. We're doing 4 events this year. If you can't make the first one, that's fine. But there's lots of news happening, lots of information. It's a UK-based LARP, but we have tent rental and things like that. If you're coming from afar and can't bring a tent, you can buy a kit on site if you need to. But please do absorb and read as much as you can, because there's a lot to learn. But
there's a lot on the website.
We would love
it's
to
really cool. Yeah. Good sentiments there. And also another thing, festival LARPs. We call them festival LARPs because it's basically high player count. It doesn't mean it's a Glastonbury event where everyone gets wasted. It's a proper event.
48. Thank you. Yes. 48
coming up soon. These don't happen that often. Like we're in a position where we've made this LARP from nothing. These LARPs have, like most of the big ones, have existed for a decade or longer. And so we're swinging in, making one that's equally as big from the get-go. So being able to get in on the ground floor is an experience not many LARPers have had ever. And you get to help shape the world from its embryotic state, essentially. Which is an exciting prospect, and a lot of people on our community Discord are getting very excited. They're already forming groups and factions and have ideas about their costumes, and there's a lot of froth going on, so real great bunch to actually get involved with. And like you say, our volunteers are really, really keen, and they're awesome people that will help you out if you need it. And you get to choose awesome characters and nations and things like that. It's just all very cool. So if you need a little escape, of course, we're biased.
And also, but like not just that, when we filmed, so we went over there a couple of weeks ago to do some filming, and we had a load of people who already do LARPing and stuff. And hearing from like their first person kind of viewpoints of it, it's a great way to make new friends. Yeah. Which honestly, like I see a lot of discourse online of people saying they struggle to make friends in like their mid-20s or whatever. Yeah. This kind of environment is great for it, because not only is like you had these characters, you kind of bond with people in a different way, and all of them. That was one point I think all of them
said it, didn't they?
In all of the interviews we did,
it's like I
that was one of the main things confident. Where they've gained a few friends, and now they all have something in common.
Someone got married.
So like
partner now,
even if it's from a social point of view, a lot of them start. Yeah, you start out nervous, but then you come out with some new
everyone
friends.
is.
So, yeah.
Like, you're all on an equal playing field.
Yeah.
I think that's the best bit, is we're all kind of in doing this from the ground floor. You're not coming in on a festival like where everyone's got their hats and things already. It's already established and you feel like a small player in a big world.
This is like the Black Friday of game rolls.
Yeah.
So the doors come up and people are just going nuts, putting TVs in. It's not like
I want to be military leader. But yeah, check it out. It's good for your mental health, frankly.
I think so, yeah. Just getting outdoors with a bunch of like-minded people.
And it's encouraged not to have your phones
playing
out
real
in
life
public.
game.
It's just little things.
That's great. Yeah, you don't have your phone out the whole
and
day,
no one
whole
else
weekend.
does.
Yeah,
so it's not. You can obviously retreat to your tent and you know engage with that sort of stuff. It's not like a ban in that respect, but it's encouraged that you're just out enjoying being a person or being someone else for a weekend.
And you don't need to be some sort of epic role player. You just need to go buy a name that fits the world and wear an appropriate costume. You can just wander around all weekend and just enjoy the sights if you want.
That's what I did. I used to people watch a lot.
Yeah.
Sit around and get wasted.
Yeah. Well, anyway,
just enjoy the vibe,
Yeah. Thank you for listening to us today.
Sorry, there's one thing I need to address, and someone actually mentioned it here. The use of the word froth. When you say that,
frothing.
You say frothing a lot, and I'm not sure what you're specifically referring to. You've done it in our meetings.
I have said that.
And the only thing I can reference that to. Only thing I can reference back to that is in between is where it says frothing at the gash.
Yeah, it's not that.
Which we know what that means. But what do you? Is there another?
So
meaning?
You know when there's a new season of a TV show coming out, and everyone's excitedly talking about it.
Just like a wolf frothing at like tongue.
Yeah, exactly.
Hungrily frothing.
It's a conversation.
It's a hungry thing.
For some reason, I go through the in-betweeners reference every time. Whenever you say it in public, I'm like, is that what he means?
Do you not?
It kind of is like that though, because it's we all get a bit excited and aroused.
I know,
but
it's just like,
it's like, oh, we're gonna have a bit of froth about this. I always imagine it as like when milk is done in a.
It's like bubbling, you can't contain your excitement.
You're adding excitement to the milk.
To say it so casually, it just sounds so. It sounds alien.
I froth at the gash frequently when I talk about Menace Fate.
Good.
I fell over in a supermarket the other day because I was frothing too much and it got all slippery.
Fucking hell, Jesus Christ. Anyway,
there you go. Thanks for clarifying.
Yes, we want you to check the website out. Read up on there. There's new stuff coming. There's a character creator coming soon, which is like even more interesting. Which is
quite a big one.
Yeah, so you
can actually build your character ahead of time.
Pick skills,
assign your XP that you get started off with, so you have a good idea of how your character will work technically. But again, your work could involve just sitting around eating muffins that someone brought to the event if you wanted.
Putting in a shift in the muffin mine.
The muffin mine.
And if you go, you might see me frantically running around the field with a camera, desperately trying to get shots.
Hey,
that's that guy from that HP.
And if you're good, they won't see you.
That's it. Well, I was tempted to get a ghillie suit.
Yeah.
Ghillie suit into the bushes and be like, really just get some great shots.
Oh, you hit me.
Candid.
We're all going to be there, of course, in our own roles, so to speak. Feel free to say hello, but remember also we're here for our escape as well. And it's all Ross is here to work.
I'm going to just be...
I'm going
to be dressed up.
I'll be dressed up in a cloak.
But I will also be just desperately trying to get B-roll.
Well, I mean, what if it turned like we get back 3 days later, we get back from an event and we're like, and then we go back and we just find Ross is frozen to death in a ghillie suit. He was too hidden inside a bush and he couldn't get out. Look at that. Oh, get the camera. Camera's good. Weather sealed. Nice.
SD cards are fine. You got a lot of good stuff.
Yeah.
May you rest in peace.
Yeah,
it's exciting times and it's coming up real soon. So we're probably going to talk more about it in our hat chats because it's just an exciting part of our life.
Yeah.
It's a big project that, not a lot of people get to talk about a big project that's a huge undertaking like this, and we got some insight on how it works. So
I guess it's probably thanks to have films in general for being able to allow us to do such things.
Yeah.
And our extremely good use of finances,
of course,
investments, and being sensible with.
We've been holding a lot of chocolate.
A ton of chocolate.
We've been holding a lot of people have been willingly accepting half of their payments in chocolate.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. And that's it for Hat Chat today. And we'll see you next week. Have a great week. Hope to see you at Menace Fate as well.
Lots of love from Valentine's Day. Bye.
Say happy birthday to Craig as well.
Yeah, just be there.
If you see him. Bye.